So I also had a real mirror experience with Pete, where on about the second day it just became so clear to me.
Pete is your husband?
Yeah, sorry. And I stood there looking at him like I was really, took me by surprise to hear what I must sound like, and worse, just with the nose. Get off, stop it, don't do it, put it down, like that. Which was great because it really made it a lot easier for me to be aware and present, and just to like slow down a little bit and see how I was behaving in each moment. And another thing I noticed was that I was still going to the negative. So I was using the skills and I was going, couches are not for jumping on. Instead of saying, it looks to me like you want to jump. Trampolines are for jumping on. Shall we go to the trampoline? I was still doing, couches are not for jumping on. Water is not for splashing out or whatever, like that. But as the time goes by, I definitely have found I'm becoming more fluent in not going to the negative. And Danny, my 3-year-old boy, really responded well. He did give me a few looks, like, what are you on about? Who is this person? And I could see that those skills were really effective with him. I mean, I did have to do the couch one 67 times. And I could see it. It will get easier as the time goes by. The couch is obviously his thing. Climbing and jumping on the couch. And I had a real a moment of clarity this week. I really got the distinction between being strict and being fierce. And I know that I shared last week around how I have a lot of anxiety and fear around how I deal with Daniel. I'm quite scared of him, actually. That's the truth. Because he's inconsistent and I never know what I'm going to get. And so I am very fearful. And that's a whole other thing. But I think what I got was how I was being fierce to almost try and, get him into submission. When actually it really, really wasn't working. And I really get the distinction of strict. And I don't mean in a scary way, just being firm without necessarily being fierce. And so I saw huge results with that. Bedtime took me 5 minutes the other night on my own. Pete had to go to a meeting, and I just said how it was going to be, and they both responded. I couldn't believe it. I got back downstairs, and I was like, I don't know what just happened. So that's been a huge thing for me this week, is to put these things in place without fear. But as the boss, if I can put it like that.
So your re-languaging of it, you're correct, because you said it's not quite strict, it was firm. So that's important, because language is really important in how we view things, right? Because if you're going to be strict has a definition which is often, I don't really care about what you're wanting for many people. It has that energy
it's
to
kind
it.
of got that school feeling.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you then change to firm. And what I also enjoy is firm and decisive. In other words, you're not sitting there, unaware or not sure. When you're decisive, you know what is needed, and then you go into that. And being decisive, you can still be incredibly friendly. You're just decisive. And firm just implies that you're not actually going to go and be uncertain or unknowing and be a pushover. You're just firm and decisive, and in that, you can actually still be incredibly genuine and authentic and warm to your children, even though you're firm and decisive.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's what you drew the distinction between the energy in being fierce and what you wanted as a result, which was compliance by submission. You wanted them to obey you, but you didn't know how to get them to cooperate with you, so you wanted them to do that, and the only technique you had was fear-based, right? Making them fearful of you. Yeah. And now you're realizing that actually when you're clear, which is what we're going to look at today in the boundaries, you're clear, then you can actually still be incredibly, I hear your need, and that's okay. And not feel that that's good or bad, and it's just this is the way it is. And they get that. And it sounds like then that's what they got, and they got that result.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you suddenly realize you've actually got a lot more time this evening to do stuff. Because it only took 5 minutes. Wow. And then you sit there, what am I going to do now?
And also the shouting. I know I've spoken about shouting many, many times. I'm a big shouter, and I grew up with a shouting dad, and this is just my thing. I really, really don't want to be a shouter. I also get how totally ineffective shouting is, and how it really just doesn't serve anybody, Danny or me. And that came also with firmness and decisiveness as opposed to the fierceness, is that the shouting really is just, I guess what I'm trying to do is scare the guy, into listening to me, because I was all out of, I don't know what else to do, and I had a beautiful example yesterday where he found a book and there was a picture of a truck in the book, and he's mad, cars rule, that's all that matters. And he said he wanted that truck and he wanted it now. And I found myself, oh, what was I doing? And so I did, I did this. Oh, she said, and I actually did the fantasy, and I said, it looks like an amazing truck. Would you like it red, or do you think it should be a different color? And we discussed the truck, but it wasn't going away. And what I normally would have done was, okay, that's it now. I've had enough. Enough with the truck. Leave it now, whatever. And I would have gone to shouting, and because he just goes on and on and on, and it didn't happen. It was really cool. But I stayed really calm, and we fantasized about the truck a little bit, and then he found something else to keep him busy.
Good. So if you're getting the results that you're wanting, or getting closer to the results, then you're doing something more effective than what you were doing before, and that's a great way of looking at it.
I definitely feel that way.
Yeah, and the results you can often see straight away. It's not like you have to train yourself for another 6 months. Changing just some little element of what's going on has really big and long-term impacts. Anything else, Kim? Just
one more thing is that it really worked for me to focus on one or two small things.
Yes.
I often feel flooded with information, maybe because I've read so much, done courses, and that sometimes you just get so lost in all the information that you forget everything. And so for me, I just really was very clear about what I was focusing on for that week, and it definitely paid off.
Great, nice insight, useful.
Yeah.
So what were the two things you were focusing on?
I was focusing on the not saying no.
Okay.
And choosing the alternative, and then not shouting. This whole versus firm and decisive. That was it. Nothing else. There were lots of mistakes, and but nothing else really mattered. That was what mattered.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.